Hello, N4H&H here with you, watching the hurricane coverage. Over here on this screen, I've got Ryan Hall, y'all. He's doing a live weathercast. He has Storm Chasers out there. If you're not familiar with Ryan, he's a new weather sensation on YouTube. He does a great job. And got the FTDX 5000 tuned into both frequencies that they're using to transmit the weather information over ham radio. 14325. Let me get the camera moved over here so you can see. So 14325 for 20 meters. I'm also monitoring, whoops, touched it. There we go. Also monitoring 7.268 here on the second receiver. See if you can, let me move the camera and get in there so you can see that. So monitoring that, and then if I want to, I can switch over to the FTDX 10 to listen to my favorite rag chewers in the morning. Okay, back over to the 5000. So the hurricane is aiming toward Bradenton, Tampa, Florida area right now. It is considered a Category 4 at this point. Nothing heard. Brad 83 MXJ, KGHQ, are you back on? Timing guy, yes. Kilo 4 golf, what's up with that? 83 MXJ, I am back. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to turn down the ham radio and turn on Ryan.
Descend on the inevitable landfall here, which is actually going to happen very soon. Mission number 29 is underway into Ian right now as hurricane hunters. We actually have, if you didn't know, one of the ways that we learn about the central pressure and the way that we know the wind speeds in these hurricanes, even when they're way out in the ocean, is we send planes into them. We literally have planes that fly into the middle of the hurricane. They record data, and that goes into helping us tell you what the impacts are, and it also goes into the algorithms that make the forecast models that allow us to tell you what the future of that storm, of what the storm's going to look like as well. So right now, the next mission is underway. That's getting ready to go into Hurricane Ian. So we should know here soon if the winds are increasing or decreasing, if the storm is getting, stronger or weaker. But unfortunately, at this point, it's not going to matter that much because overall the storm is strong enough to where even if it was to weaken to a pretty good degree, it's not going to be quite enough to, lower the impacts very much. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, I shared with you a couple of things in the stream text of the last moments of our Sanibel cyclone port cam. If you didn't see that, that was associated with a 98 mile per hour wind gust, I believe, is what took that offline, and then also some viewer submissions of a patio deck actually being ripped off, shown on video, and flying over the house. So we're getting into it.
All right, thank you, Andy. Like you said there, that this was a wow. The final moments of that the cyclone port device there in Sanibel Island is final. Like, man, this was actually a pretty decent a distance above the ground too. You can see that a big, powerful wave came through, and wow, all at once, just kind of knocked the thing over. And I think we've lost connection with it completely. So once again, this is the last moments of the Sanibel Island surge pack. Unfortunately, our cyclone port was taken out by the extreme winds and storm surge just moments ago. Here are the last moments we had of it on camera. My goodness. And once again, it's probably only going to get worse from here, and conditions similar to that are going to be expected.
Wow.
Up and down.
So that's Ryan Hall, y'all. That's the name of his channel on YouTube. And I enjoy. He has literally saved lives in the past with tornadoes. Out in the Kansas and Oklahoma areas where people are tuned into him on their phone. And he'll say, "Hey, time to get in your shelter." And there's video footage. His family went down into their shelter. I mean, moments before the storm came over. So I like to check in with him for the visual reports, and then listen in here on the HF rig for the. I guess that's where it does come in handy having the dual receive. I mean, I've shown you other reasons I like the dual receive. But in this case here, I'm squelched up and monitoring 14.325 and 7.268. So those are the frequencies that are most often used on amateur radio for the HF weather nets, the hurricane net. So anyway, thought I'd let you in on what I'm doing right now. Have contractors working on my house because I had a roof leak, and they're trying to get all that fixed before we get the wind and rain here in Atlanta. Although it's looking like it's going to turn more away from us, and we won't get a heavy impact, but at least we will probably get some rain. So I want to get all that straightened out before it hits. The roof leak has already caused some damage, but they're getting all that worked on right now. So something coming in on 14.325 there. You know what? I want to mention this, and one of my Patreon members pointed this out to me, and sent me a message asking, what is the deal with people tuning up over the amateur radio weather nets? I mean, yeah, it's hard to believe. But I've heard it numerous times. I get in here, it's not happening right now, but more often than not, I'm hearing people tuning up on 14.325 and 7.268. I mean, I get it if you're tuning your antenna, but put it on 20 watts and move a few kilohertz away. Okay, it's not going to matter. You can tune a few kilohertz, 5, 10 kilohertz away, and then come back. Just find a blank frequency, because, I mean, I get it. I run a doublet, and it has to be tuned. Well, except on 17 meters. I just, zeroed it in there, and that's covered in another video. But move a few kilohertz away and tune, and then come back. Find a blank place. It's not that important. Now, that's if you're tuning your antenna. You can tune your amp into a dummy load. Invest in a dummy load. Now you might say, well, yes, but I get a little bit more power output if I tune when I'm on the antenna itself. Well, I mean, there's technical reasons why you might think so. But, okay, so if your antenna has a high SWR, it might appear that you're getting more power by tuning the amplifier. We're talking about tube type amps. You don't really need to tune a solid state amp. But if you're tuning your tube type amp over the air, even then, move a few kilohertz away. But the chances are, if you tune it into the dummy load and get on the air, it's going to be close, super close, like close enough that extra few watts you might have think you've gained when you tuned with the antenna is negligible. So, please don't. I mean, you shouldn't do it anyway. Tune over somebody's QSO, but especially tuning over emergency communications like the Hurricane Watch and things like that. Well, anyway, just a little insight into what I'm doing today, and hope you enjoyed the video, found a little bit, maybe something helpful from it, and hope you're out of the way of this storm yourself. And I want to thank the Patreon support team who helped bring these videos to you. Without them, I could not do this. There's somebody coming in on this receiver B, which is tuned to 40 meters. I'm using the ZS6BKW, which is, by the way, resonant on both of these bands. So that comes in handy when you're doing dual receive Or I could put a different antenna into the back of the rig, and there are 4 antenna ports, and I could assign a different antenna port for the B receiver if I didn't have one antenna that was resonant for both bands. Another little tip there. So hopefully you stayed into the video this far and caught that tip, huh? It pays to watch to the end. So thanks again to the Patreon support team. If you want to join that team, go to www.patreon.com/N4HNH and join at any level. Any bit helps. Also, if you would, please subscribe to the channel. And if you do that, and I should ask you this too. Please click the thumbs up button. The like button costs you nothing, helps out the channel. But also, too, consider subscribing to the channel. If you do subscribe, be sure to ring that bell. Click that little notification bell symbol so you'll be notified when I upload a new video, generally 1 or 2 a week. And finally, if you would share this video link with your friends on social media, text message, email, or phone a friend. All right, thanks so much for watching in 73 from N4HNH.